McLemore. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for stopping by as we enter the sunglasses era of the pod. That's right. Back another episode, back another week, and back with the shades, because we had such a positive response that we just had to bring them back. Just kidding, it's my own decision. It makes me feel more confident behind the shades. It's like, you ever seen Big Daddy? That's right, the Adam Sandler classic. When he gives him his sunglasses, he's like, here, you're invisible. No one can see you. It's that sort of effect. I feel like it really helps me hone in to the character of the In-Between podcast. But thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for tuning in. What should we talk about? Well, I know we went a little heavy. We went a little hot and heavy. We went a little heavy on the heavies, if you know what I mean. Last week, talking about the Sydney Sweeney, and how she's taking over. So much so that it's beginning to backlash. But I'm not going to go too hard on her since we went on it last week. But it just so happens that Hollywood happened to hear me complaining about how she's everywhere. And so, bang, bang, this weekend, 2 movies came out back to back. Double feature on the Sweeneys, double D. Double feature Sweeney. It was a back-to-back Sween. Pretty sweet, if you ask me. First one was Americana, followed closely by Eden, both starring Sydney Sweeney. But it was kind of ironic and a little bit perfect timing and kind of hilarious as well, because both movies starring Sydney Sweeney, who looks unbelievable in both movies, but in each film she's like this character that's like, oh, you're so not cute at all. I think in Americana she's got a stutter. I just want to be a singer out in Nashville. I think there was even a line in the film where they're like, if it wasn't for that stutter, you'd be kind of hot. Oh, I just never had a boyfriend before. Okay, Hollywood. You could give her any kind of a speech impediment. Not gonna matter, dude. She could be completely mute, sign language, and it would be no different from what she is right now. Best part of a movie, best part of Americana, overall, meh. Best part of the movie is when Sydney Sweeney's mom comes in. She's like, hey. Sydney Sweeney comes home late, and she's like strumming her guitar, and her mom like kicks open the door and is like, What is with all the noise? I love it when characters in movies are so over the top, angry, and mad. I was just trying to play my guitar. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. You shut up, you stuttering bitch. It's like, Jesus. And then saw her again in, what was it? Americana. Oh, and then Eden, Sydney Sweeney and Eden. It's funny, too, watching back-to-back Sydney Sweeney films, watching her range of acting, because it goes from, I just want to be a singer, to she's like this little cute German girl. Oh, yes, hello, Franz, and hello, Mans. Oh, do you have the sausage? There's even a part where she's like, oh, so why'd you marry Hans Franzenberg over there? Oh, well, I was never very popular. I've never even been kissed before until I met Hans Franzenberg. And it's like, Okay, dude. No, okay, maybe I can buy that. Maybe she's like never had a boyfriend or anything, but remove that line from the film, dude. I've never been kissed before, y'all. Hey, get the hell out of here, Hollywood! Trying to make Sydney Sweeney seem unattractive is insane. To give Sydney Sweeney the line of, I've never been kissed. Boys never really paid much attention to little old me. Okay, Sydney, get the hell out of here. Darling, hold my hand. Is it just me, or is it like any time I open up my phone, dude? Darling, hold my hand. You too can enjoy a jet-set holiday. Which is fine, I get it, trends come and go. Which is fine, I get it, internet fads come and go. I get it, the viral trend or whatever going around. But at a certain point, you know what I mean? But at a certain point, when anytime I open my phone, dude, darling, hold my hand. Every single time. It's not even for like vacation videos anymore. It's just like food reviews. Just any video on Instagram. Oh, darling, hold my hand. You too can enjoy a jet-set holiday. Over and over and over. But speaking of going to the movies, darling, hold my hand. Went to the movies for not just Sydney, but went for the latest UFC 319, I believe, because I had so much fun at 318 or 317, whatever was the last one they had in theater. So much fun. I think I just happened to get lucky with like a really good card, the kind of card where they're just standing and banging, you know what I mean? Just rocking each other back and forth with gnarly haymakers all night long. So I think I got, excuse me, excuse me while I drink some water. I think I got spoiled. I think I got lucky that my last theater UFC experience was so entertaining and also so peaceful, I guess you could say, or pleasant theater experience, or just normal theater experience. The audience was perfectly fine. We all clapped, we all had fun booing and cheering and hooray and oh, ref, you suck, whatever. I guess I got spoiled because this one, dude, 319 was a different story. A little bit rowdy in this one. A little bit rowdy, Ronda, Rosie? Whatever. A little bit rowdy on this one. And there was also lots of wrestling, like in the main event. Basically, nothing but wrestling, nothing but crucifixion and hammer fist for about 25 minutes. Which, is it my favorite thing to watch? No. Has my UFC watching ability evolved over time? Maybe, because I didn't hate it. I mean, no matter how you look at it, it was thorough domination of the champion, which I mean, like, from a certain perspective is very impressive how it was, like, so one-sided. The champion getting dominated from start to finish. So in those terms, it is, like, entertaining to watch. It is interesting to watch a champion get so dominated. But not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Because our crowd was getting a little bit rowdy with the wrestling, they wanted blood. They wanted to see some standing and banging, you know what I mean? And then, dude, then there's somebody in the audience, dude. Somebody in the audience who as best as I can tell, from what I can guess from his actions, from what I can presume, is that this was no ordinary man. This was a Chihuahua in human form. This was a Chihuahua. Dude, this was a legitimate teeny tiny little Chihuahua who was granted a wish by his fairy godmother, who found a genie in a bottle, dude, and had one wish and was like, I want to be human and go watch UFC 319. Because I've never seen the perfect embodiment of a Chihuahua up until that night, dude. I've never seen somebody. I was like, dude, you maybe weigh like 95 pounds. And this is coming from somebody who's like running thin their whole life. And I was like, dude, there's no way. Maybe if we dumped a bucket on water on you, you might hit triple digits, but there's no way you're more than 95 pounds, dude. No way. And I've never seen somebody so loud, dude. So loud. And I've never seen somebody I've never seen somebody fight their friends more than like fighting the opponent. You know what I mean? Like battling your friends to the death to try to get to this other guy, dude. So much so that it's like, just let him fight, dude. Like if at a certain point, it's like, I feel like you'd be the better friend if you just let him go. Stop holding him back, dude. He really wants this. But it just like slowly escalated through the night. And the weirdest part is that the Chihuahua guy's fighter won. He completely won, and yet he was still so angry, dude. I was so confused. I don't understand why you're so mad when the guy you're rooting for is the winner. Like you're kind of up. You're the winner of this situation. Why are you being so aggressive? And then also hilarious, too, to have his friend like chasing down the guys and be like, oh, you want some? Yo, you want some of this? And they're like, yeah, all right, sure, we'll fight you. Like, oh, hell yeah, you wait right there. Runs all the way back down the theater. Daddy, they want to fight us. It's like, you would think, it's just like, why you got to run all the way back? Just fight him. You're already there. You're hounding him the whole time. Oh, man. And then, dude, first on the scene. Dude, these guys are getting rowdy, dude. Whatever it is, watching the UFC fired them up. I guess it's like when you watch an action movie, all of a sudden you walk out feeling like Bruce Willis, dude. When I watch Lord of the Rings, hell yeah, I feel like Aragorn, dude. Shit, yeah, pulling out my long sword. And I guess it's the same thing with this, dude. I remember when I was a little kid, yeah, sure. I remember when I was younger watching, Fantastic Four or whatever, dude. I'd walk out of the theater feeling like Johnny Storm. You want to talk about the first time I saw 300, dude? The first time I saw 300, dude, if I had walked out of the theater and somebody would have handed me a sword and shield and would have been like, there's an army, let's do this, I would have been no words, just like, or whatever their battle cry is, dude. I guess it's the same effect when you're watching UFC, dude. You watch 3 hours of UFC and all of a sudden, you call me George St. Pierre, baby, GSP, and I'm ready to roll. Or at least that's how it was with these guys. They come flying out of the theater, and it's getting rowdy, dude. Bruce Buffer was basically at the concession stands handing out popcorn and being like, it's your main event. Did somebody order popcorn? It's time to butter up your popcorn. Basically, it was getting UFC main event in the lobby of the theater there. And who comes showing up to break it up, dude? Oh, it's the baddest of the bad, dude. The Regal employees come flying down. What the hell? Dude, literally the shortest and oldest, dude. She was so short and so past. So, like, okay, let's do like a realistic guess here. Like, mid to late 40s? Teeny tiny little mid to 40s lady, dude, comes barreling down the hallway like, whoa, 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 what's going on? And I'm like, dude, what is this lady gonna do against these youths in their prime, fired up on Chihuahua adrenaline, dude? What is this Regal employee gonna do? And then, back up, dude, she's like, bah, 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 bah. Her partner shows up. Super tall, lanky old dude. Heck yeah, dude. Short, middle-aged lady and her backup tall, lanky old dude. They're here to handle some business. And it's like, dude, where is the security, dude? What is the point? Every time I go to the theater, there's like some big old security dude straight up strapped, locked and loaded cowboy style. It's like, where's that guy? Blah, blah, blah. It eventually spills out. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, all these people are being so loud, dude. The loudest screaming, dude. Dude, as their clothes are being like torn. Let me at them. And it's like, dude, it's one of those things where it's like everyone is being so loud, but nobody's really trying to fight. You know what I mean? Everyone's fighting their friends as hard as they can to get to the opponents. But like, you can tell nobody really wants the smoke, you know? And thank God. Thank God for a tall, lanky, and short middle-aged lady that came down to break it up. It eventually spills out into the parking lot, and finally, security shows up. And even him, like, you could tell his body language was like, I really don't want none of this, dude. But it was interesting to have the two different experiences with the UFC. Such a good experience with all the fans and the fight card, and then the card was so mad that, like, I guess the audience had to, like, take it upon themselves to be like, nah, you want to see a UFC fight? We'll show you! But yeah, I'm glad that Chihuahua got to live its life see what it's like to be a human for a night, and then before midnight, I'm sure he changed back and is somewhere barking like a lunatic at other dogs that pass by. What else can we talk about? How about that basketball? WNBA to be specific. That's right, the first WNBA game. It's in the books. We came, we saw, we kinda won our money back. Just kidding. I mean, like, it was fine, I guess. All right, let's take it from the top. Let's take it how I went in there with the most positive attitude you could possibly have, dude. I was ready. Dude, you have no idea how ready I was to be a lifetime fan of the Sparks, dude. LA Lakers, who? I'm here to get in on the ground floor of the Sparks, dude. That was my attitude. My attitude was the same as the rain, baby, which I love so much. I wanted that same feeling when I discovered the rain, dude. When I was like, are you kidding me right now? You're telling me that there's local hockey that is like just as fun, like 5 times cheaper, close to home, so compact everywhere you sit is like the best seat in the house. That's what I wanted from the Sparks, dude. That's what I was ready for. I was ready to go in at the ground floor and be like, oh, I discovered something, dude. I got in before anybody knew how sick the WNBA was. I got in. Dude, I discovered all these secret baddies in the WNBA. You guys have no idea this secret cool thing that I found, dude. I get to go to LA all the time now, save some money, still get thoroughly in. That was my attitude. That was my attitude. So it has nothing to do. Like, I went in ready, dude. I was like, make me a fan. I'm ready. Dude, LA, let's go. I was following players, dude. I was getting hyped. I was so ready to be a lifetime Sparks fan. And then the game started. Air ball. Brit. At a certain, dude, it's like, all right, energy's sky high at the beginning, dude. It's like, let's go, LA. So fired up, dude. We had our little bot suite or whatever. I've never been in a little suite before. Woo! I was living sky high, looking down at the beautiful side of the court. I've actually never even been to like an actual like live basketball game, so that was another first. And I'm just like, here we go, ladies. And then time starts going, and it's going, and it's like, all right, brick, and we're going, and we're another air ball, and we're going, all right, missed that one too, and we're going, and we're all right, missed another one, and we're going, and it's not even like, I mean, I was looking up the standings before. Is LA doing great this year? Not really. We were playing Vegas. Are they doing great this year? Also not really. It definitely didn't help that Vegas was rocking LA the entire night. There was never a moment when the game was less than like a 25-point lead. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to get into it when like your team is behind by 25 points the entire time. And then, like I'm telling you, it's like, all right, ladies, let's get it going here. Miss, air ball, brick. And it's like, okay, all right, what are we doing here? Why are you wasting my time? Not the best first impression. Maybe it was just, sure, would it have helped if they had won? Sure. But they don't have to win. Make it close. Make it an entertaining game, dude. It's rough. And I'm telling you, I went in full steam locomotive. Let's go Sparks, baby. And it turns out, as much as I wanted it to be great, darling, hold my hand. It's just unfortunate. Like, I was so ready for it to be awesome, and it just didn't quite do it for me. But luckily, rain train's coming. It's almost hockey season. Should we write off WNBA entirely? I don't want to, dude. Like, I want it to be cool because it's so much cheaper than regular NBA. You know what I mean? So much more affordable, so much more accessible, and yet the entertainment value is just so much lower, unfortunately, dude. I don't want to be this guy, but it's like I can only work with what you're giving me, and what you're giving me is mediocrity, dude. Which is unfortunate, but if there's one thing I've learned, it's, darling, hold my hand. You too can have a Jet Set holiday. Over and over and over. Darling, hold my hand. Just because I just saw it, Eden, it was fine, based on a true story. I've seen the doc on which it's based on. It's just funny that, like, that cast is so gorgeous. That cast is some of the most beautiful, dude. Sydney Sweeney, Anna de Armand, Jude Law, not just Jude Law looking jacked Law, dude. Like, the opening scene, he's got like insane biceps going on. I was like, yo, put me on that island workout or whatever the fuck, dude. Eating iguanas and coconuts, I don't know what it is, but you're looking jacked city, bro. What the hell? 50 plus Jude Law looking, what the hell? I gotta go to an island and start digging a trench or whatever the hell he was doing. Hunting boar or I don't know, gardening, whatever he's doing. Got it, Jet City. But it was just funny how the doc is it showed the real people. And they're really average looking, and that's kind of putting it nicely, average at best. And it's just funny that the cast is the most unbelievable, best looking people in Hollywood. Darling, hold my hand. How we doing? Time's not bad. Thank you so much for tuning in for another pod as we try to keep it going here, as we try to keep the momentum flowing. If you've made it all the way to the end, well, thank you so much. You're my favorite kind of person. Oh, cheers to you for sticking around to the very end. I appreciate it. And if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe, as it's much appreciated. And I guess that's it for this week. We'll see you next time on the pod. I'm your host, Cassimo. I'm jumbled up here at the end. Let's start that again. I am your host, as always, Kyle McLemore, and we'll see you next time on the pod.